All right, guys, how are we doing? How are we doing? It's a beautiful day of your life. I love you all. So, something I was going to talk about are the health benefits of cigars again. So, health benefits in my mind, goes beyond just physical health. So there are some definitely benefits to nicotine. It perks you up, keeps you a little bit sharp. It is a stimulant, right? So there are benefits to it. But however, for someone like me, there are mental benefits. So in my family, we all struggle with mental illness, and so we all have depression, anxiety, OCD. Especially my dad and myself. We have really bad OCD. So I'm OCD. Not like I'm not a clean freak. I'm not like a lot of the stereotypical things, but I have a lot of the intrusive thoughts over things where for years, and it's not, and I've worked on it tremendously, but for years I'd always think like I must do this for this good thing to happen. I must do this for this to happen, and so I would do like the fidget, like I would in my head think, oh, I gotta tap my feet two times on the floor together before I do this presentation. Otherwise, I'm gonna mess it up. Like I would think stuff like that all the time. Like I must tap my face this many times to feel this way, like stuff like that. And so it's really weird. And so I've seen my dad, who I love, he we come from a very natural family. We're all about natural remedies and everything. And so if you have those thoughts, you have to get therapy for it. And you have to be incredibly proactive. And so the best thing that happened was I started getting therapy when I was about 18 years old. Because when I was thrown out of the house as a teenager, and my whole world was spun around, I was terrified. And part of it too was me and this head of mine. And so I got a therapist who helped me through things and helped me be able to conquer those thoughts and understand what was happening. And then that changed my life. And when you realize, like, wait a second, those thoughts are just my thoughts. That's just my brain playing tricks. And you learn to recognize these patterns because it gets incredibly destructive and debilitating in your life. And that's why my first business took so long to take off the way it should have, because it did well, but it took way longer because it was always I was the problem over and over again. And the best thing for me over the last several years is I learned to relax. I learned to let go of those behaviors. I learned to finally start living my life. And so that's been amazing. But recently, when I had my panic attack, those thoughts came back in full throttle for a few days. I was like, holy moly. And I realized that's how I lived for years. And of course, I grew up in an abusive household, so I didn't get any help with it, anything else. It was all up to me to figure it out. So, holy moly, guys, crazy. Um, but, so cigars for me, and even when I was younger, this is one of the few things I've been able to do where I can just be at peace. And it's not a drug that's harmful like alcohol or like marijuana or stuff like that. People are debating about marijuana. I am not opposed to it, but I know if you have an obsessive personality, it's not necessarily the best thing. And so for me, like know thyself, for me, I know that alcohol does not mix with me. And also I try to avoid things like marijuana or other drugs because I have an obsessive personality and I know this. But so for me, cigars just let me sit down and be at peace with my thoughts, be at peace with my head, and then learning to be comfortable to sit in a group of a bunch of people and just hold a conversation and be invested in them instead of me. Like that has been amazing. And so that's something that happened to me because I started smoking cigars on occasion when I was about 18, because it was legal back then in the United States. And so that helped me tremendously. So for me, I may not enjoy a cigar every day, but having one in moderation gives me that mental reset I need because I know my mind will go wild all the time and I'll get obsessive about like weird things that does not matter. Um, and so a cigar forces me to sit down with my thoughts and be at peace with it. And so when I talk about the health benefits, it's helped me tremendously. So of course, I'm sure other people can have different things, but so probably like me who struggled for years, and I still struggle, still fight because you have to work out forever. Um, yeah, it's so beneficial. So, and also, it's taking care of yourself because people who struggle with like OCD, for example, the big thing they talk about is the guilt. Like you feel this constant guilt for everything. And so I never had bad rest of my family, but my family, like their lives have been just destroyed over and over again. I love them so much, but it's just like it's just difficult. And then for me, who does not, I don't work on the routine or patterns the way they do at all. Like I am so destructive to them that they don't want to have me around. They've told me that, like, we love you, but we can't stand having you around because you don't follow our routines or patterns, stuff like that. Oh my goodness gracious! That's mental illness. So if someone's mentally ill, you will love them, but you also acknowledge they're mentally ill. But also, mental illness is not an excuse for bad behavior. Uh, just so you know. But you acknowledge that it is probably a mental illness thing. So you can't blame someone. Like, I can't stand when people say like, "Oh, just don't be depressed." You've never had depression. You say that. You're an idiot if you say that respectfully. But if you're a guy and you struggle, life is hard, something like this is so beneficial. It's not destructive. I know, maybe it might give me mouth cancer. Maybe it does dry your mouth, give you cavities. No, don't brush your teeth and take care of your mouth. I'm doubtful, being that I have it in small doses, that those things will happen. But the peace it gives me, forced relaxation it gives me, my hyperactive mind, would everyone I do. Anyway, team, I love you. Thank you. Do you struggle with things like me as well? I try to be candid. I try to be open because I want to be able to be there to hopefully inspire someone else who's going through the same thing. So you don't have to go through the train wreck that I went through to get where I'm at. And hopefully, because we can all grow, become better together, and live the best life of all time. Because again, in this world, we need it. And just know you're not alone. Anyway, I love you all. You're the best. You're the best. Upman 1844. Toro. Please get one. Anyway, love you all. You take care. Have the best of your life. Goodbye.